At the end of this module, you are expected to learn and understand the history of human development, know the rules of trade, industrialization, global governance, aid and philanthropy in human development, learn what are the global flatteners and unflatteners. History. Improving people's well being and enlarging their freedoms and opportunities is the process of human development. It is about having true freedom to decide who we want to be and how to live our lives. The true purpose of development is to improve people's lives. The concept of human development was developed by Dr. Mahbub ul Haq. He is a Pakistani economist during the 1970s at the World Bank. He posited that the true purpose of development is to improve people's lives. He worked with Nobel laureate Amartya Sen and other great economists. In 1990, he published the first Human Development Report commissioned by the United Nations Development Programme or UNDP. Trade and industrialization. Industrialization began around the middle of the 18th century in Great Britain. It involved innovations in iron smelting, the invention of the steam engine, production of steel and railways, steamships, and other transport. Industrialization boosted trade, and the trade spread the industrialization to other nations. So, when we say trade, it involves the transfer of goods and services from one person to another or from one country to another. Industrialization is the process by which an economy moves from primarily agrarian production to mass produced and technologically advanced goods and services. From the start, industrialization involved the interaction of three things: technology, specialization, and trade. Global governance. Global governance is broadly entails making, monitoring, and enforcing rules. The UN Millennium Summit held last September of the year 2000 adopted 8 Millennium Development Goals or MDGs, which involve 8 goals and represent a holistic approach to development with targets in the areas of economic, social, health, education, gender, and the environment. And these are eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, achieve universal primary education, promote gender equality and empowering women, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combat HIV or AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, ensure environmental sustainability, develop a global partnership for development. Aid and philanthropy. So, what is philanthropy? Philanthropy means love for humanity. Philanthropy is an act of goodwill and the desire to help your fellow human beings. Philanthropy is where private resources are mobilized to meet human needs and take on the systematic challenges that hinder human development. Through the institutions of civil society, philanthropy becomes a contributor to social change and advancement. These institutions range from small foundations to large private and professional grant makers. In order for aid and philanthropy to succeed, it needs an infrastructure or an environment that possesses five main features. First, a legal framework that empowers. Second, a tax structure that provides incentives. Third, an accountability system that builds confidence in philanthropy and civil society. Fourth, sufficient institutional capacity to implement effective activities. Fifth, enough resources to undertake activities. Global Flatteners and Unflatteners. The World is Flat, A Brief History of the 21st Century. The World is Flat is a book by Thomas Friedman where he argues that due to certain events and developments, the world is becoming more flat. This is metaphorical in nature where he meant it's becoming a level playing field when it comes to business for every country or company. Flatteners is what Friedman calls these events and developments. For Friedman, then flatteners made the business field into the way it is today, wherein geography and history are marred. First flattener, the coming down of the Berlin Wall on 11th September 1989, Beck 2000. Friedman called the period of the 90s the new age of creativity because the opportunity of each individual to access and share information through computers. The second flattener is Netscape going public back 2000 and introducing new tools such as web browsers and the internet. The world becomes smaller because physical barriers are eliminated by the internet. communication and transfer information through long distances is made faster and easier. The third flattener is the existence of wide range of software standards that allows every individual to do more using their computers, Bodrox 2008. This workflow software of codes is the language of computers that makes it possible for the said computers to send, receive, and read data anywhere in the world. Fourth flattener, the ability to upload information and content from the computer onto a network. Paradox 2008. Through open source software like Wikipedia and YouTube, every individual can be an actual creator of new information. However, the ability to create and upload information can be very disrupted, meaning it can tend to disrupt some activity or something. Nobody knows if the information are true or not.
Outsourcing is the fifth flattener. The fifth pattern is outsourcing. According to Ericsson in 2007, the third-party subcontracting para makali sa gastos at kahaniti sa nakadaghan ang mga kompanya. Maskin makatabang nis pagserbisyo o paghimo og produkto na outsourcing, mo'y gipili para mao ang pamaagi og makatipid sa kwarta. Ang paghago sa usa ka tawo kay gidali na lang sa paagi sa pag-install og fiber optics cable kay tibuok kalibutan para dali ra makasagap ang mga tawo sa information or datos. The sixth flattener is offshoring. When the production plant of company is moved from one country to another, it is called offshoring. This is happens because of several reasons like lower taxes or cheaper labor. The sixth flatteners is offshoring according to Ericsson in 2007. Kay ang pagtukod og business sa laing lugar para mukalat ang ilado ilang product, mahitabo na tungod kay sa laing lugar gamay ang tax or gamay ang sweldo. Sa mga trabahador like anang Krispy Kreme, primero naara na sa bato pero karon maskin asa ng part sa Leyte na tuwa sa Hilongos. Sugod maskin maasin Tacloban ug uban pa. The seventh flatterness is supply chaining according to Holmes in 2008. Is gipataas ang connection sa supplier sa mga nagtingi-tingi sa mga gipalit. Sa paagi sa paggamit sa mga bag-ong technology, ang supply chaining is nagitan usa sa pinakamaayo sa pinaagi sa promote efficiency between sa mamalite og tagahimo sa product kay gipagamay lang ang ilang product. The eighth flattener in sourcing Holmes is happen when one company hire another company to handle their supply chain. The eighth flattener is insourcing according Holmes in 2008. Ang insourcing kay mahitabo kung usa ka company mokuha og usa pa ka kumpanya para handle ang ilang supply chain. Murag business partner na ba, di ba sa mga kumpanya ta kay maghatag og kapital sa laing company ug ang ginansya kay magtunga na sila. The ninth flattener is informing according Schultz in 2005. Ang informing mao'y pagdali sa pag-access sa pagkuha og informasyon sa paagi sa World Wide Web sa laing-laing search engine. So, di ba og mangita tag dali nga information diretso ra ta sa Google kay halos tanan naa na sa Google. Mao na ang informing. The 10th and final flattener is called the steroids. According to Friedman, there are three types of steroid. The ever-changing trends in computer technology are digital steroid. Mobile steroid allow user to work from anywhere such as wireless internet, and personal steroid is when invention are cheap and small enough to be utilized by individual. The 10th flatteners is steroid according to Water in 2001.
According to experts, there are also 7 unflatteners which does not make the world flat or that which creates an imbalance, and these are poverty, main cause of global inequality. As long as it exists, that will be not flat world. Ang kuan ay is how inequality function as a cause of poverty. However, is a bit more multifaceted when people are given fewer rights or assets based on their ethnicity or tribal affiliation. That means they have fewer opportunities to move ahead in life. We see that often in gender inequality, especially when women have fewer rights around their health and economic power. In this case, equality is even relative. It doesn't matter that someone has more. What matters is once someone else doesn't have enough. Ang pasabot ani nga ang gender maka-affect sa poverty gihapon na ay inequality kay ang for example ang baji ug laki para sila trabaho pero mas lamang ang laki kay dako ang sweldo human ang baji kay kuan gamay mo nay ang na maka-affect ay poverty nga nakapasa inequality. And next is USA versus world economy. The world is generally dependent on the US dollar, creating an imbalance in the world economy. Ang kuan siya ang pagsulong ng paglago sa pinakamalaking ekonomiya sa mundo ay maaaring magbigay ng makabuluhang tulong sa pandaigdigang aktibidad sa kabaliktaran ng kawalan ng katiyakan tungkol sa direksyon ng mga patakaran ng US at maaaring magkaroon ng kabaliktaran na epekto na sinasayat ng kolom na ito ang mga spillover channel na nag-uugnay sa US at sa panandaigang ekonomiya. Ang isang pagbilis sa paglago ng US ay magkaroon ng mga positibong epektibo para sa ibang bahagi ng mundo kung hindi nakabalanse ng tumaas ng mga hadlang sa kalakalan. Gayunpaman, ang kawalan ng katiyakan sa patakaran ay maaaring makahadlang sa pandaigdigang paglago at maaaring magkaroon ng partikular na masamang epekto sa paglago ng pamumuhunan sa mga umusbong na papaunlad na ekonomiya. Ang next, half-flat world. Is this when local governments fail, which could be due to corrupt official or mismanaged government? Ang kinisiza, corruption increases income inequality and poverty through lower economic growth, based tax system favoring the rich and well connecting for targeting of social programs, use of wealth to do lobby government for favorable policies that perpetuate inequality in asset ownership, lower social spending, unequal access to education, and a higher risk and investment decision of the poor. Middle East. The never-ending wars in the Middle East and the threat of terrorism worldwide could set up walls different countries. And next is digital divide. People are either connected to the internet or not, and this creates and the division and imbalance. Ang digital device is a modern information and technology. This technology can include telephone, television, personal computers, and the internet. And for example, during pandemic, in just a few days, coronavirus locked us up in the house, meaning we had to study, work, and look into each other's eyes through a camera. Access to the internet has enabled many us to get on with our lives despite the pandemic, thanks to modalities such as remote working and online education. But the reality isn't the same old world. In fact, the International Telecommunication Union, or ITU, the specialized agency of the United Nations or UN, warned at the end of 2021 that almost half of the Earth inhabitants, some 2.9 billion people, do not even have access to the internet. Naghapon si Jai imbalance kay during sa pandemic kay naiuban nga wala kayo o kuan naglisod po kuan sa access sa internet. And next is suppression. Suppression from within the family, culture, and governments. Means of suppression means the conscious and intentional inclusion from consciousness. And last, tribalization. A strong cultural and personal identity could lead to misunderstanding and when taken to the extreme could lead to wars. An example could be the ongoing tensions in the South China Sea. Territorial disputes of countries could trigger wars, and there's definite imbalance as to who's more technology advanced and weaponry.